How pleased are you to tick off another difficult away trip with 3 points?
Yeah, this was a really difficult one, and everything that we've been through in the last few weeks as well. We knew it was going to be a really, really tough test, and we went through it.
We mentioned before the last two wins feel like they've been won in very different ways. Was tonight almost winning in a third different way in 3 games?
Every game in the Premier League offers you a different things, and in relation to the context that you face as well, the moment of the players as well, the issues that we had even with the players that started. So big credit to the boys because the effort they put in is astronomical. I think on the day, yeah, there are certain things that we have to do better, but the commitment and the desire to win that they have is incredible.
What more can you say about Bukayo Saka? 300 Arsenal appearances tonight, and he marks it with a goal he almost made his own luck for.
I didn't know it was that many, but yeah, at his age, it's just incredible what he's doing, the consistency that he's showing, and yeah, it's a pleasure to have him.
It's another clean sheet, 14 for the season, one more than he managed in the entirety of last year. To do it the way he did tonight with a centre-back coming in and then having to rejig it again. How pleased were you with the way that they kept the concentration when Brighton were really pushing second half?
Yeah, we are missing quite a lot of players in the back line, and we have to make certain adjustments today. But again, the commitment of every player is unbelievable, and that's the reason why we do what we do.
I know you said at the weekend that you've got a very strong heart and you can cope with the late games, but what were the last few minutes like?
But it's going to be like this. When you look at the other games and the margins and how difficult it is to beat opponent in this league now, it's the reality. So we have to face it.
I'm sure, as you know, this will be the last time, I think, until you play each other and then on the final day that you play at the same time as Manchester City. They've dropped points tonight, so the gap is 7 points. With 8 games to go, how much does that matter right now?
Well, we did what we had to do, and that's what we have to continue to do.
Well done tonight.
Thank you. See you.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, that was our manager, Mikel Arteta, following Arsenal's 1-0 win against Brighton. Welcome along in, everybody, into the Fire Them Cannons post-game show. It's just me tonight, but I do have a lot to say, and I can account for about 4 or 5 people just with my energy and how I feel tonight. Again, make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you're subscribing. But as you can see in my thumbnail, in my title, tonight, for me, is the night. Tonight is the night that, for all intents and purposes, you can feel, you can know that Arsenal are going to go on to win the Premier League. That we're finally going to do it. We're going to be champions. After 22 stinking years, I think it's clear and obvious to me that tonight was the night we've been waiting for a long time. As I have just been on the terrace with Terry, and I was just saying, you can feel the silence across all of England, all of the land, all of the internet when it comes to talking about the Premier League, to all the rivals, to all the haters. There's a silence, an acceptance that their big, brave Manchester City are not the big, bad, scary boogeyman that they all thought to be. Because we have been at this thing as top of the league since match week 7. I said 5, but I've been corrected to 7. And since then, Arsenal have never, ever backed away. I said on that day, when I went on the football terrace itself, when I went on to what was called Six-Sided, now I think it's been rebranded as the Big Top 6 show again, I said Arsenal are not dropping out of first for the rest of the season. And that still now at match week 29 is the case. 22 match weeks later. In terms of this title race, City is the team that's pushed us. We've also kind of let them back in at times. This for me feels like December, and everyone was thinking, we lost to Villa, and then we crawled over the line against Wolves at home, and everyone was thinking, oh wow, Arsenal, they just don't have it. They're going to be back to their old habits again. We just kept winning. It didn't matter what the performances looked like. We were worrying about the attack. I remember we actually played this Brighton team at home, and we won, and people were still questioning and worrying about this attack, even though it was starting to look a little bit better on that day. And then Aston Villa came, and we absolutely sent a statement across the league that night. And the very next 2 nights later, because we had New Year's, we welcomed 2026. City showed they just didn't have it. They couldn't go to Sunderland and get it done. And it's exhausting to try to keep up with Arsenal. They had to do a lot just to get into that position where they were only just kind of one slip up away. But then they have to kind of maintain it as Arsenal pick up their form and keep winning. That Wolves night, for a lot of people started to really doubt this thing. But I said, guys, we go ahead, we beat Tottenham, we beat Chelsea, and then we go and beat Brighton. And let's see what Man City does in that time frame. And every single one of those wins, every single one of those games were potential banana skins for Arsenal. And we dealt with it with professionalism. And for me, without the nerves. And now Man City just could not keep up. Drop points. Everyone has been waiting for that time where Arsenal let the other team in through the door. Arsenal give the other team the incentive, the control in the title race. And it has not happened. And tonight, for me, makes it very, very tough. Because now they have dropped points. It's no longer in their hands, as people have been saying for the last couple of weeks. It's no longer in their hands anymore. It's in Arsenal's hands right now. And not only that, Arsenal have 5 home games out of our final 8 to come this season. 5. It is my personal belief that City will drop points again outside of just the game that they play against us. And if that will be the case, that means that winning 5 games at home, our remaining 5 fixtures at home, I think that will be enough to win the league. Because City still have to go to Stamford Bridge. Now that will be their opportunity, of course, to turn the tide back in their favor like they did when they went away to Anfield, for sure. At least the tide of the momentum. But until then, guys, we're going to have about 10 days now until we play Everton at home. In between that, of course, we get to turn our focus. We get a chance to rotate in the cup. We have a chance, of course, then to focus on the Champions League. And then after the Champions League, we play Everton, and then we play them in the cup. And the cup, for me, has got nothing to do with the league, in my opinion, at this point. I think it's got to do with winning that cup, as it should be. And after that, there's potential they have to play Bayern Munich over 2 legs. We might have to play Sporting or Bodo Glimt. Everything, for me, I'm sorry, is moving so much in Arsenal's favor. The only thing that was really in their favor was the fact that it was in their hands in some shape or form, that they had the title pressure, that if they were to beat us at the Etihad, that they would go on to win the league. It's no longer the case. Well, it wasn't the case before. Before, actually, we didn't even need to win. We only needed to get a draw. And now, even if we lose that game, we could still win the league by a point if we win every other game and they win every other game. It just feels like there are so many things still that have to go against us and have to go in their direction for them to win. And here's the big statement, the big facts. And I've got a lot of facts I want to share with you tonight, especially in my opening monologue. And then we'll get into, of course, our game. I want to get into some of the highlights of their game. So I'll run the tapes, at least in the background. We'll talk about the main points in each of those games. We'll talk about the player ratings for tonight's game, which will be again another challenging one, considering the weird look of tonight's performance, at least from a attacking point of view. But I want to know, everybody who's been panicking about City, I kept saying to everybody, stop looking at them. It doesn't matter. And I set the example for those people tonight. I didn't turn on Manchester City's match against Nottingham Forest until on the commentary they just told me that Elliot Anderson had equalized, that it was 2-2. And I had it on my laptop on the side while I was finishing watching their Arsenal game. And I watched them side by side. And I watched an Arsenal team that comfortably negotiated those 7 minutes of stoppage time, and a City team that was panicking, that knew that they had to find something and they couldn't. Arsenal had the answers in the most crucial times of the season, and Manchester City didn't. Everyone keeps trying to say, oh, City, they got the more experience. They're going to know how to navigate this. They don't lose these games at the back end of the season. Arsenal, they're going to bottle it again. And for me, I think Arsenal has shown you something since that Wolves game, which, by the way, now, in terms of points, because of tonight, is irrelevant, because City have dropped points at home to another team fighting for relegation. And that has restored the points that we dropped against Wolves. It is now 7 points that we lead the Premier League. 7, with 8 games remaining. Now, here are some facts. Everybody knows I've been bringing up recently the common games thing. And last time I was on, it was 42 42 points for us, 41 for them. Well, tonight, Arsenal won a game that Man City earlier in the season, Brighton Hove Albion, lost at the Amex. That's +3 in terms of common games points for Arsenal tonight. Do you remember what the result was when Arsenal played Nottingham Forest at home? It was 3-0 Arsenal. Tonight, City have dropped 2 points that we did not this season, meaning it was a 5-point swing in terms of common games. Right now, Arsenal are on 48 points in the same fixtures as we played Manchester City. They're identical so far. And City are on 42 points. The goal difference in those games, by the way, now, Arsenal are on +27 and Manchester City are on +17. In the same opponents, home and away. The picture is being written. If you guys don't want to see it, that's up to you. But for me, today was a big, massive night in the title race. I don't see anybody tonight with any punchback, with any, whatever, who cares, you're going to bottle it anyway. No. That fear that everybody has had, the rivals have had, the Arteta outers have had, not to throw some of our own fans on the bus, but they kind of took the wrong side in this, and they never really had the faith for whatever reason or another. There's an acceptance tonight. That's what that silence is. And my God, guys, for me, I feel like we're counting down the games now. As long as Arsenal can take care of our business, I think that's it. By the way, love to hear you guys in the comment section. If anybody wants to come on, actually, I'll drop a link, guys, in the chat, just in case anybody wants to come on. I will pin that. I will pin that link. Because for me tonight is a big night. It's a huge night. Thank you, by the way, to Haytham Bargi. He says, congrats on winning the title, bro. It's over. Point made right there. Like, I'm at a point now where I feel comfortable. I always felt like that next time that somebody dropped points, whether it was us or them, was going to be monumental, seismic, as I can see in my little title on the scorecard at the bottom. Seismic. Even if it was us, if we had dropped and given them the initiative and taken the control out of our own hands, I would have had a very hard time thinking that we were going to go ahead and do it, and I would have been very, very, very sad. But from the other point, though, one more time that City slipped up, and I said this back all the way at Liverpool, by the way, so I'm being consistent. You know, everybody was celebrating that Liverpool victory for City, which, you know, by all means, but I always kind of said it kind of still only means it's only really one more game, one time that then you drop points. For me, really, that will be a knockout punch. And I've always felt, regardless of how the momentum, regardless of how the media has spoken, I have always felt that they are missing all the underlying factors. That they are covering up what is really about to happen. That they are bigging up City like this big momentum charge, and they are undermining Arsenal as the worst champions ever. Oh, set piece FC, that's not sustainable. Oh, they're bottlers, they're not going to get it done. And here they are, silent tonight. Big up Rookie, he's here always. Rookie Yoshida, my guy. He says, yo, we 7 points clear, Rookie. You can share me whatever your opinions you have here in the chat tonight, because you have, as you said, you never doubted it. Tell me about your feelings on tonight's game, because we obviously are going to get into tonight's game. That was my sort of opening monologue, my opening rant. It's been a long time coming. I wanted to get that off the chest, really. Obviously, you know that it's been a hard couple weeks for me since this Wolves game in terms of this net channel. We've, with what's gone on with Cal, and I believe it began that night. And by the way, he's doing all right. I've spoken to him even just today. I think he's doing all right. So, he's good. But obviously, the channel for now is my own. And I thought I would just come out here with my voice on this post-game show, regardless of who is next to me or not. And I would tell you how I feel, because I felt like tonight was a night that could not be ignored. It will be ignored by many. It has been ignored by many. But I think that's because those people have been in denial. Every time that I've been happy, people go, hey, why are you celebrating too early? You're going to be sad eventually. Now, the possibility is still kind of hanging on by a thread, I believe. But not in my opinion. I think you guys kind of need to wake up and smell the coffee. Ruki goes, tonight, the game was shaky. We dominated, but won. Hopefully, Cal will be back soon. Look, I hope so too. And if he ever changes his mind and decides to come back, I told him already that the seat is warm and it's ready for him whenever, wherever, in whatever circumstances, even if there's another co-host here. I will be having a rotation, by the way, of co-hosts. I was going to have one tonight, but he became unavailable last minute. In fact, I will actually also send out a link quite quickly, 1 second, Ruki, I want to get into that because I do want to have a discussion on the performance tonight, but I do want to send out a link to all the potential co-hosts just in case somebody is available. One second. Because a lot of the Gooners tonight are kind of doing it on their own shows, because obviously everyone wants to say and talk about the performance and talk about where we're at. We weren't in control of anything. We missed our captain so bad. But before I get into the performance, okay, Ruki is going to give you to anything. See, Ruki's going to have his say. Ruki, I've got you. Let's talk about the game. Let's talk about the performance. Here we go. Nkapie and Gabriel, what a performance. That is without a doubt, guys, tonight. For me, there was one man of the match, and it was Pierre Nkapie. From both sides, he got us out. I remember that one time he literally almost actually ran ran past the entire Brighton defense until eventually he couldn't quite keep the ball, but just kind of on his own. His defense, he showed up on multiple occasions in the biggest moment, and he had the most composure of anybody for me tonight. Tonight was a night where, obviously, we'll get into the team sheet. I will start, good place to start. The night starts, we're looking at it like William Saliba is out. Total shock, I think, to all of us, that William Saliba picked up something against Chelsea. Again, I had it on this show. We had his interview. It seemed like, he was all right. He was talking. I think he's going to be all right. I think it's a precaution. It's the advantage of having the squad that we have, of having a Christian Mosquera and being able to trust in him. But one thing that I think is a fact that will go by the wayside tonight is that Christian Mosquera picked up an early yellow, and he would manage to ride that anyway. And there were a few times where he came close, and I was scared, and I held my breath. Oh, please don't, Chris Kavanagh, because you know the way Chris Kavanagh is. Chris Kavanagh can definitely pull the trigger. He's got an itchy trigger figure for sure. But luckily, we all did that. I think Arteta made the right choice by taking him off and bringing Calafiori. And by the way, I do want to talk about Ricardo Calafiori just for a second, ladies and gentlemen, because I put him under the burner when we dropped that Wolves game. My first post-game show. I feel like from that post-game show to this post-game show, we're really going to have like a lot, right? Like a lot has happened. Defining things has happened, as is the nature of coming closer to the end of this race. But Calafiori, I felt like lost us that tonight. It came on in that game, in the Wolves game. He dropped the 2 points for me, a big part of that. He was basically, it was Valentine's Day, a couple of days removed, and he was basically having a Valentine's Day picnic in the back of the net. He's an Italian, very romantic man, obviously, so that he probably has that on the mind. But tonight, he came on in reserve, and he shut it down. He was composed. He came up with some crucial clearances, and I thought he was tremendous in his appearance tonight, coming in for Mosquera. And on tonight, Man City dropped the points that we did against Wolves, which is complete redemption for me from that night. It's almost like that night never happened in terms of the maths. And Ricardo Calafiori, your blushes have been spared. Now let's go through the games. I'm going to have the 2.5 minute highlight from my streaming service in the back because I can't actually play it for you guys. Although one day I wish that Wednesday we could just, fuck, copyright and just do it. But no, not tonight. I will get into this question just in a second. That's actually a very, very good question. Amazing question. Good segment to have. Saliba is a precaution. Yeah, as I said, Mosquera definitely was playing too aggressive. Yeah, he was, but I'm proud of him a little bit because I mean, there was one time where Minte actually beat him to the byline, and he actually let Minte get past him and trusted some of his defenders, because I felt like had he also he's in the penalty area, so there's the high risk area. But had he gone in on him, which I could see it, he was tempted. There could have been a totally different game. It would have been another game where we would have a man sent off, probably conceded a penalty in a away from home game. But it was such a great moment that nobody will ever talk about but me, in which he showed some self-control and he trusted in the rest of the defenders behind him to make sure that would be cleared. And so that was excellent. Let's go through these highlights. So Arsenal, obviously, within the first 2 minutes of the game, just as I press play, this thing goes and kicks me out of here. Okay, here we go. In the first minute of the game here, Raya makes an absolute error, right? He passes it straight to Baliba, who tries to trip him, but great effort by Gabriel. By the way, what a moment. What a moment by Gabriel. Let's not let this moment, 2 minutes into the game, go under the radar. Because I feel like Arsenal only concede goals when we make errors. And we made another error tonight here. But Gabriel, with the heads up play to back up his goalkeeper, another redemption arc tonight for our rock at the back for Gabriel and for David Raya. Remember that Wolves moment. Well, tonight, David Raya again gives the ball away, so he makes a mistake. He again is way outside of his goal. Baliba feels like he's good to chip him, but Gabriel with the self-awareness to track the flight of the ball and head it back over and clear it, us out of danger. Because that would have been an awful start. Rewrite this night, and that goes into the back of the net. We are nervous. We are chasing a goal. They, of course, didn't concede most of the game. They were pretty well structured defensively, Brighton, tonight. They would have clung on to that for ages. And who knows how that reverberates into the Etihad as well. When their fans find out the Arsenal are 1-0 down, it could have been a completely different night had it not been for Gabriel's heads-up play to head that one away. Massive. All right. Next big moment, by the way, I just want to point out Eze with a tremendous through ball to Bukayo Saka. Tremendous through ball to Bukayo Saka. And for me, Bukayo Saka needs to do better there. He is, again, it's a mixture of Saka and a big mixture of Martinelli. But again, he plays that across. For me, actually, I've criticized him so many times throughout the season for when he has been too greedy. For me, yeah, Gyökeres is marked. Don't worry about Gyökeres. Martinelli is not going to make there in time. You can tell by the time he gets there, he kind of slips because he's trying to get himself there, and the ball kind of just goes across. Saka just needs to take one step inside and smash that thing. But redemption was there for him because at 8.5 minutes, Rice wins the ball back. Eze gives it to Timber. Timber spots Saka out on the right. Saka then this time again does dribble inside, beat his man. And then the ball obviously deflects off Baliba, deflects off of Verbruggen, ends up in the back of the net. And a massive, huge, could have been the most defining goal in Arsenal's season. My title of the video, my title down here, seismic shift, my title on the thumbnail. That does not happen without Bukayo Saka being brave, backing himself, and just shooting the damn ball, which I was critical of our players not doing against Chelsea the other day. And you shoot, you just never know what happens. And I think I'm interested to know why, honestly, that was credit to him as a goal. Because I originally thought it would be an own goal, considering it came off Baliba and then it kind of deflected off Verbruggen. I felt like it took two different deflections into the back of the net. But I'm happy that they gave it to Saka. It's a tremendously huge, regardless of what you think about Saka this season, if you think he's dropped off or whatever, that could have been the goal that really, really won us the Premier League this year. When we go back and it's all said and done, and we are sitting, in North London, in Islington, and we're having a parade, we're going to go back to that goal from Bukayo Saka. We 100,000% are going to go back to that goal from Bukayo Saka. I love the celebration. It's the old Michael Jordan celebration, the shrug of the shoulders. Massive. Let's get to some of your comments, and we'll go to continue to break down this game a little bit. Aya, I will. That, by the way, you're so funny. Are you a chef? I love the picture. You love to cook. I don't know, but actually from far, it actually looks like Super Saiyan Goku's hair. I don't know why, but when I zoom in, I can see it's actually a pan. It's actually fire. Yeah, love the defensive depth, but I have to say, we ain't going to play an overlapping fullback on the right when White is available. Let's see him and buy another one. Ruki, I agree with you 100% on this. I 100% agree with you on this. Some of those fullback areas, actually, I think on both sides for me, is something that we need to look at, especially on the right, I believe, because I do feel like we need to learn from our mistakes of the past and replace players when they still have value before they start moving beyond Arsenal. So you bring up, and I saw it, what you were talking about, Odegaard. You were talking about, you were about to say, no, but before you were two comments. You said we miss our captain so bad. Odegaard needs to be back to his best and we'll stay confidently we win everything. I was watching actually the starting lineup show on Arsenal and AFTV, and I agree with Laurie Lyle a little bit, which is something is going on with Odegaard in the background there. I agree with Ruki. Tactically, if we can get Odegaard back on this team and Odegaard firing and confident, he can play a massive role in this last bit of the season, which, by the way, we have 20 games remaining. If we were to make it to the final of both the FA Cup and the Champions League, we have 20 games remaining in the season. So 12 are non-Prem games, right? So in those last 8 Prem games, we have 10 games to Everton. And then after that, as I said, it'll be almost a month between the Everton game and the Bournemouth game. It's actually 5 weeks until we play Bournemouth in the Premier League. That's 2 games from now. That's a great opportunity to get, I mean, obviously it's not going to be a fully rested period because you'll have an international break in there. We're going to have our Champions League games and our FA Cup games in there. Absolutely 100%. But I do think that if Odegaard, if it is just an injury or it is just a confidence thing and he comes back in, he can play a huge role because he is the club captain and he has an opportunity, I feel, to lift silverware. And I would start him at Wembley against Manchester City because I need my captain in a potential trophy winning night to be there for us. 150% on the ball. But I do feel, though, I'm a bit concerned about his constant absence. Like, he had the injury against Brentford. He came back. He threw it. He played in the thread of the ball to Gyökeres that closed out the Spurs game, right? But why wasn't he in the Chelsea lineup? Why wasn't he there tonight? I feel like something is going on behind the scenes. It's not injury related. Like, I actually love, by the way, and has a yet to really repay Arteta for that. I love that fact that he's actually trying to play him into form. I actually do like that. But it says a lot. Why does he feel like he needs to do that? Maybe he sees Eze as somebody who, if he plays him into form, himself could come up big in some massive moments down the stretch. Lots of good questions. You're right, Luki, but my question is, the only question I have, and I don't want to be negative on a night like tonight, is whether or not he plays a part in the season, whether or not he'll be with us next season. I am starting to doubt that a little bit. It's sad because from my point of view, I want to see him with us, winning trophies with us, at his sparkling best, turning defenders, being silky on the ball. He's the best close dribbler that Arsenal have. Well, 100 and 1,000% without a doubt. He's the best creator that Arsenal have, without a doubt, when he's at his best and he's at his sizzling best. Honestly, turn on a highlight reel of Martin Odegaard. It is literally football porn. It's absolutely, he's an amazing player. More of these things. Aya completely agrees with what I said. I remember I saw you came up. This was while I was talking about the Gabriel deflection. Yuki goes, "You are exactly right. We are so good. We only concede chances when we make mistakes, which is why a deep tempo setter is very important." but Zubamendi seems tired and poor lately. I think I think it's due to fatigue, but I do say he's been under the pump recently, and we mentioned on this show, he's made a lot of big mistakes. He's a lot of like just moments of where he's lost his focus and concentration in games. Like the moment last week he passed it back to Chelsea. Today he had one as well again, where I felt like, but in a different way, which is like we won the ball back. Brighton gave the ball away in the dangerous area, and then he decides to like play it backwards and kills the momentum of that attack. And I'm like, what are you doing? But yeah, you go back to the Mbumo chance, you go back all the way back to Tottenham, Richarlison. When Zubi is a little bit tired, he does tend to have real lapses in judgment in terms of where, and it does play some wacko balls. It's only one other way to describe it. Wacko, effortless, whatever you want to say. Maybe it's just not strong enough of a pass to get to where he wants it to be in his brain, and we'll never know where he wants it to be in his brain. But yeah, it's an odd thing, but I still think that Zubi is class. If we have the profiles of Odegaard and Havertz, I'm confident. Yeah, well, look, Havertz comes in again, but this time now Havertz is coming in to relieve Gyökeres in his role, which is interesting. Again, as I mentioned about Eze, Arteta is leaving Eze in these games. I like it. I think he's playing the long game here. But again, I was a bit nervous that if we let Gyökeres off the pitch, that you lose control. I feel like Havertz was better today in that term, where we didn't lose the control when Havertz came on. And again, Havertz is not Jesus, so Havertz, his thing is more likely that's more actually what his role he played in the past. So I'm not surprised that, again, he's able to do it. He just wasn't really able to do it against Chelsea the other day. Today also showed me we truly need another Declan Rice profile. We shouldn't overplay him like that. Yeah, well, look, that's where the links are coming to Sandro Tonali and play like that in the summer. Man, the Merino injury is definitely playing a part in terms of the fatigue of this squad. And the fact that Odegaard isn't available at the moment as well plays a huge role. I think Havertz being back, though, is key. That's why I kind of felt like I would have preferred Havertz to come in the midfield again. But Norgard today, by the way, came in for Zubamendi and was tremendous and shut the door. I feel like the fans have given Arteta a really good idea. And I said it months ago, which is like, I can just see Norgard coming in just to be a closer like Jorginho was. And he's starting to lean on him at the perfect times of the season. That's why I keep saying with all these players, we had to be patient. We're always making analysis on what's happened so far or what's happening now, and we're not realizing that there's an entire season to go, that everybody's going to play their part. Everyone's going to have their role. At the end of the day, if we get this thing over the line, everyone would have earned their medals in their own specific ways. We were able to have, and I will do this on this show if that were to occur, we will go through every single player individually and we will commend them on the roles that they played in us winning said trophy or trophies. And I thought Norgard tonight, just like he did against Chelsea the other day, shut the door down. And I think that was a massive thing. But yeah, I do think that we do need to kind of spice up the midfield. Again, we need to be ruthless. We can't just stick to our laurels. Hey, look, we got Zubamendi and Rice now. We never need to buy any more midfielders because they're never going to start. We're starting to, I'm seeing it. Rookie, I feel like you've been like this all the time. But it's like, it's not about just your starting 11. It's about the squad. That's what I want to strengthen. We have so many games that you can see so far. Today was our 45th game at a potential 65. If we were to go at least push the quad all the way to the end, right? 45. Man United will play by the end of the year 41. By the way, that number is going to continue to separate between us and them for the rest of the year. But yeah, you need to have as many options as possible. I also would say, by the way, the left-hand side for me, Martinelli again. I think by Martinelli did his thing off the ball, and again, he needs to be commended. But again, he also got pulled. because he wasn't good enough. And Trossard, for me, when he came on, didn't impact the game enough either. So we do have a problem out on the left-hand side. I do feel like, back to your Odegaard thing, if you could just get Odegaard in the team, that Eze would shine there. And that's where he needs to be. And Eze needs to be your left winger. I've been saying it since we bought him. Is this the style of play? If this is the style of play in the league, I want us to control or at least not get dominated. Absolutely. And we haven't, by the way. Rookie. This stat came up. I don't know if I can share this up on the screen. It'll take me a while to do it, but it was an Instagram post. I am going to airdrop this in the background, but I do want to share this with you because you're going to love this, right? By the way, this stat has gotten even better. Okay, yes, cool. I can do that now. Here we go. I got this stat. I'm just going to bring it actually just up on the screen by itself. Where are we now? Where are we here? Here we go. I'm going to take off actually the overlay for a sec. This was a big up to now AFC, by the way, one of my favorite Instagram profiles. Actually, they also have an X profile too in terms of delivering Arsenal news for me. They were the ones who broke for me the Saliba news, and I saw them. I'm like, but this was a great graphic, great stat here. This was before this game, so now it's actually 45 games played. 45 games played, 3 defeats. All those 3 defeats were by only 1 goal margin. It was Liverpool, Szoboszlai free kick, Aston Villa, the scramble at the end, and then Man United, the Cunha screamer. 3 defeats. We have never been dominated in any football game the entire year. Not one time, even in the games that we lost. Not once. That is why for me, sorry, I'm getting messages from the background. That is why for me, I feel like we are deserved champions. Don't let people gaslight you into saying worst champions ever. That's saltiness. Let's fucking forget about that shit. Honestly, forget about that shit. It comes from the same people who keep saying that, oh, Arsenal, you're never going to win it. You're going to bottle it. Blah, 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 blah. Forget about it. It's just rival fans being rival fans. And with that being said, he told me that he wouldn't be available tonight because he had other things. But he is such a legend, such an amazing fucking guy who loves this channel that he is here anyway. I welcome Jake, my man, Jake from the Cup Chasers. At the moment, the temporary co-host of Fire the Cannons, or to the building, man. I want to start off with this, and I'll bring your idea. This is what I kind of spoke about at the start of the show. Can you read off what I wrote? What I put as the title?
The title?
The title of this video.
Tonight is the night I know for sure that we will be champions. Damn right.
Does that statement hold true for you, Jake? Let me know your feelings on tonight. Us, Manchester City. Let me know your thoughts, bro.
Yeah, I definitely think that a performance like that and getting the win, yeah, that's the first time you can say, with real gusto and veracity that is a champions type win. That is the win that a champion will have, because I did not think we were great. We defended well, but on the ball, we were not great at all. And I think that it wasn't because we tried a whole bunch of stuff and were bad. It was because we just kind of like realized, I think, we're all kind of gassed. They looked tired. And so it was kind of like, we got an early lead. Let's not give anything away. And the longer we did that, the more it became, all right, let's just defend this and win. And hey, if we do that for the rest of the season and win the league, like I told you, I will weep tears of joy. And no, it was nervy. Yeah, it was definitely nervy. And I'm getting gray hairs over here because of it.
Wow, that shit's real. Damn. This is 22 years. This is 22 years. Guys, you know what? If Arsenal win the league this year, everybody let's chip in and let's get a really just good like cut and color for Jake so that his hair color can be restored to its natural color. And then Arsenal will start winning. He'll never have a gray hair again in his life.
Never have a gray hair. Hey, I love it. Love to hear it. Oh my God. Yeah, man. But I'm excited. I'm pumped up. I was really laying into Asif and Nez just now on our pod. We just finished up. I was definitely having a good time. Asif even mentioned, he's like, man, you can't even, this guy hasn't stopped smiling since we came on the pod. And he's so smug. I was like, yeah, I am. You damn right I am. Murillo, my man, Murillo, you are coming to the parade, my brother. The goal line clearance at the end of the 98th minute to keep it 2-2. At that, homie, you're coming to the parade. Let's get that man a jersey.
I'm sending Elliot Anderson a goddamn winner's medal.
What a goal, man!
And you know what's so funny? It's so funny, Jake. I actually made a point to not watch their game, but when I heard, don't know the name of the commentator of our game that we were watching, our Brighton game, say. Guys, Arsenal are now 7 points clear as of right now because Man City have conceded a second equalizer again. And I'm like, okay. I was trying to make a point. I was being stubborn about how many minutes am I into this now. I'm going to open my laptop and I'm going to put City's game on the side. And it was beautiful to sit there and watch side by side Arsenal against Man City. And this is what's giving me the confidence, right? You, as an Arsenal fan, would feel a bit nervous as those games end, especially when when Chris Kavanagh or whoever, you know, the fourth official puts up 7 minutes. From where? How many minutes? How was there 7 minutes of stoppages? When was there a stoppage of any form at any kind in the second half?
I can't think of any. But I will say this. First of all, and I've said this before on this channel, I don't like to complain about referees because, in my opinion, the standard is they're all horrendous. But Chris Kavanagh was, by the particularly incredibly exceptionally low bar I hold for Chris Kavanagh, he was horrendous, dude. I thought he favored them.
Look,
how does Mosquera get a yellow card in the 7th minute for his first challenge? And it takes 80 minutes for anyone else to get a card.
I will rebut this because I am Chris Kavanagh's biggest hater. I hate him.
He's the worst.
Ever since the last time he managed an Arsenal Brighton game, he could never do that in his life. Last time he officiated an Arsenal Brighton game was the day that he sent Declan Rice off.
Really? Right? For that nonsense. Oh my God.
Right? So I especially have a hatred for him, and especially in this fixture. I was a bit proud of him that because Mosquera definitely played with fire with that yellow card a few times. And I'm actually kind of proud of Chris Kavanagh that he didn't take the cheese.
He could have.
Because he could have. And I was saying there was a moment in this game, by the way, right before we switched to Calafiori, because I think this was the moment that Arteta was like, all right, okay, I think I gotta do something here. Where Minte actually beats him to the byline.
And he dives in.
Yeah. But he misses
My
him.
heart was in my mouth. I was like...
Because in another world, he makes contact with Minte. Minte goes over. They get a penalty. You get second yellow from Mosquera. We'd be down to 10 men and they would have a pen and it'd be 1-1. We'd be right back to both Brighton games of last season.
We have to be fair. Because I thought that we did kind of we bent and bent and bent and didn't break kind of performance. We were letting in too many crosses. There was far too many free headers in the box for my taste. Brighton were not good in front of the goal, man. They were wasteful. They did really well to get right to the goal, and then it was gratefully, thankfully, they made Raya work once on the Reuter shot where he got down and hurt his arm. Other than that, it wasn't really like maybe in the first minute when Raya tried to give him a goal 30 seconds into the game, and then they chipped them and Gabriel had to, but really it was like we gave so much territory so easily. You know, it was a weird game, man. It was just an odd game.
I wasn't surprised about this. Sometimes you got to kind of see the writing on the wall. This is why I think fans need to really be realistic. I was on the Guinness therapy, big up the Dans every single time, the other day. And I was saying, look at the schedule. Right now, Arsenal, even though we had that week off again before we played Chelsea, right? We look like we are out of gas because right now in this time of the season, this was the most important juncture of the season. This is the last time I believe that there will be midweek games in the Premier League. In fact, Terry just told me that this just now before, right? Because the FA Cup fourth round is coming up, or whatever, fifth round is coming up, right? That's the last time there's enough fixtures for us to dedicate an entire weekend to the FA Cup. The rest of the time now, you know, teams will then be given games in hand if they make it into quarterfinals, semifinals from here on out, right? So I think we may get one ourselves, but the fixture list from now, as we mentioned in the last show, right? We don't play Everton until the 14th. I said it from Australian time, but the 14th of April, which is in 9 days from now.
Yeah, March.
Or it would be in 10 days from England, so from 4th to the 14th. After that, don't play Bournemouth in the league until it's actually been rescheduled to an early kickoff. Fuck yes. To the 11th of March against Bournemouth at home.
You mean April?
That's nearly a month, almost 4 weeks between the Everton game and the Bournemouth game. So no longer do we have this conjunction of fixtures where like boom, 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 game. And that's when you're most vulnerable. That's when you can't really collect yourself.
Well,
that's when your players run out of gas. I'm talking about in the league.
Oh, in the league. Okay, yeah.
Right? So, you know, those are the kind of where your players kind of run out of gas. This weekend's game now, we have Mansfield, which is the perfect draw, which is why it was a gift from God. And I really, really hope, football gods, if you're listening, and I'm not a massive football gods guy, I'm an actual God guy. Please don't let there be a shock, because our team are not going to rotate out of disrespect to Mansfield. We're going to rotate because that's what we fucking need to do.
Because we're tired.
Yeah.
Declan Rice and Martin Zubimendi were gassed. So gassed.
And they were gassed at the end of Chelsea too.
Either one of them could have come off and that'd have been fine for Norgard. Either one. They would have been fine. I
was not expecting us to have like Marty from AFTV, and I'm starting to get to know him. I'm trying to, get on his good side. I'm not going to say too many things because I was buoyant by what he said, but then kind of thinking to myself later, I'm like, yeah, it sounds good, but I just don't know if realistically this will happen. He said that he thinks Arsenal were going to have like a massive 4-1 win against Brighton. And I'm like, I just don't know if we have enough energy in the tank to do it, to do that. But what I said, and it kind of happened in the reverse, I said that it would be a 1-0 win and we might just steal one in like injury time or something, right? We actually stole one almost like in the reverse, at the beginning, and then had to hold out, which I think is probably better for your heart rate than the other one.
Yeah.
Right?
I actually was a bit calmer, even though we were not like batting,
That's where I was kind of going to get to, though. Regardless of what it today looked like, it was 90. I actually did the maths, right? We'd end up playing 100 minutes. We scored the 9th. So for 91 minutes today, Arsenal had to remain completely focused, completely committed. They had to give the effort off the ball Like you lose your focus for a second. I think Arsenal learned that from the start. That's why I kind of say that Gabriel clearance at the start when Rye gave the ball away and Baliba almost chipped him and Gabriel cleared it. I thought actually that might have been great, the fact that we cleared it, because it was a teaching lesson for Arsenal. Be like, we got to be switched on today.
Yeah.
And we were. From there on, we
Defensively.
were. That's why, for me, it was a great performance. That's the difference between teams that might look, Man City couldn't keep the concentration, the focus to hold on against Forest, and all of a sudden
They're feeling it, man.
They're chasing it, and they're feeling it.
They're diving. Holland with a Harry Kane special, bro. Erling Haaland taking a leaf out of the Harry Kane book. You know how Harry loves to leave his leg in. Oh, Kane, he'll just leave his leg on somebody and fall over. Haaland pulled one of those today, man. They're feeling it. They're feeling the sting, the squeeze. They're getting a little bit of desperation sneaking into some of the City stuff, and I love it.
Here's the thing, and these are the facts that I mentioned, right? We were talking about the common games table. It's become our new thing now, right? We were talking about in the last all the shows so far, right?
They lost this game.
They lost this game, and we won it. So that's +3. You know what also happened tonight? When Arsenal played Nottingham Forest at home? What was that?
3-0.
Mm-hmm. That's a +5 swing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why tonight is the night that I feel like I'm sure that we will be champions, because we are doing things. We are doing things that they couldn't do, and they can't do things that we have done. If that makes sense. Now, from where it was 42-41 in favor of Arsenal after Chelsea, tonight I thought it would be a bit less because I thought they would go ahead and beat Forest.
Right.
It's now 48 points to Arsenal in common games, 42 to Man City.
And the goal difference.
The goal difference is +27 Arsenal, +17 City. 10 points, 10 goals difference. So for all swashbuckling, best attack, scary, they, always get it over the line. They're never going to lose to the end of the season, Manchester City, right? The inevitable ones, everyone keeps saying, even though we all know who the real inevitable ones are. In those same games, they've got 10 less goal difference than Arsenal.
You love to hear it.
And I heard LB say, Arsenal, you guys are going to be the worst Premier League champions ever if you guys do it. I'm like, but what would that make you if you guys won? If that's the case.
I was thinking that one through. I was actually thinking that through a little bit earlier today.
You heard that one? You watched that one?
I watched Straight Facts today and yesterday. Yeah. And I was thinking about it, and isn't every champion, for the most part, like most seasons, there's the champion and then maybe one team and then a lot of teams who are not very good. Just because your team was shit this season has no bearing on me winning the title. You didn't do your job. I was way better than you, or better in general than you were this season, and I won the title. Liverpool won the league last season, and that people were kind of saying the same thing. Oh, it was the worst league ever. Dude, if you win the league, you won the league. I don't care. You can LB can say that. That's fine. City fans can say, oh, this league is bad or whatever. Yeah, well, we'll win this one, and then we'll go on and maybe, you know what, LB? Here, we'll win this one for you. Worst one ever. We'll win this one. Worst one ever. And then next season, when the league improves, we'll win that one too for you. How about that? And that'll be better. Better for you, and no one can say that we're the worst.
But see, here's the thing, right? This is why we're not the worst one ever. Pep Guardiola is the manager on the other side. I don't believe he will be next year, especially if they don't win it this year. Okay. No, I don't think he will. Sure. All right. Well, what if we won it next year instead of this year? People would be like, well, you did it when Pep finally left. You could never beat Pep, but when Pep left, that's when you started winning.
I am grateful for that. Yeah.
There's always going to be a way around it. But one thing I said, and I said it to Terry on the terrace tonight, me and him almost had a show like me and you, at the end of the terrace and everybody else had gone, right? Mm-hmm. The panelists dropped off and it was just me and him before we got to the Arsenal topic.
Sure.
And I said,
before you got to Arsenal.
Yeah, I know, because there were Man United fans, and I get it. They're a little bit PO'd and they just kind of want to get to bed.
No, I get that.
that there was a lot of silence tonight. We've been talking about kind of all the haters on the side and stuff like that, but you can hear a pin drop when tonight because they're Great Man City with one draw. It's what it signifies. It's the fact that everybody's been waiting for vulnerable Arsenal to drop the initiative. They were waiting for it all throughout the entire Christmas period, in all of December, right? I remember because it was December. It must have been December the 7th that we lost to Aston Villa, right? It was January right. We won all the way there.
Has it been
It
that
was
long?
January the 1st, 2026, when Sunderland drew with Man City at home.
Yeah.
From that period, they were at 2 points behind us, right?
Right. Okay. Now I'm with you. Yeah.
Then they started to kind of drop off because like, wow, man, because it's hard. You have to kind of bridge that gap back to where you're in striking distance, and then you gotta hope that Arsenal fall off, or you kind of stick with them. That's also very draining. So they couldn't do it then. This time around, the Wolves game from then on, right? They were like, wow. They dropped points to Wolves. The next fixture is Tottenham. They fucking hate them. They're gonna have a good chance to get them. By the way, what's even more demoralizing for them? Tottenham got an equalizer. Chelsea got an equalizer, and then there's hope in moments for them. But in the end of the day, Arsenal got those games over the line. And then today, playing simultaneously with them, we take the lead very, very early. And as I said, regardless of if it's before or after, tonight I think is powerful because the energy goes into the stadium. So you can feel like our away fans, when City went 2-2, you could feel like everyone was up and we were cheering, we were getting behind the boys. We really willed them over the line that away.
I noticed that. Yeah. I noticed
right?
that. Yeah.
The same thing happens the other way at Man City, apparently, because I've been speaking to some. When we went 1-0 up, there was a collective minute or two where the energy went out of the Etihad.
Really? Okay. Yeah, like you, I did the Arsenal watch along, so I didn't watch anything else.
Yeah.
I've seen highlights since, of course. I could not go check it out.
And there was a tension in the Etihad, and I saw that myself as the waning seconds were ticking down. You can feel it, and it was getting into the play that City weren't able to fully. City were playing with anxiety at the end of today, trying to do whatever they can to get there, and it wasn't as silky pure and as well executed because there was an anxiety running through their veins. All that stuff. We went to Anfield and we fucking won. Then we won 4 on the bounce. Only for us to drop points here? No way.
Hey man, Vitor Pereira, Forrest are still in a fight. They're still in a fight.
Vitor Pereira, the very same team that guy who's almost going to be responsible, I believe, for Wolves being relegated. Because as good as Wolves are right now, they're still eliminated from the tiers. I'm fucking changing my mind because they're not making it up.
I mean, that would have to be one of the craziest things we've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. But for him to come up with Forrest and do that, let's not even get into the repercussions of Tottenham because Forrest's picking up points is good for us too. And West Ham beat Fulham.
And West Ham beat Fulham too.
If Spurs don't beat Crystal Palace tomorrow, and I mark my words, they are losing to Crystal Palace tomorrow. Mark my words, they are losing to Crystal Palace tomorrow. You can book it.
Hey, I'll be locked in. Watch along. We'll be there. We'll be there.
That's off the topic right now for me.
Yeah, no worries.
And I do have to remain on topic because I have a doctor's appointment in about an hour and 20 minutes. So we do need to kind of stay on topic for this one. But for me, this is a massive night. Like Rory Jennings always said it so many times. There's a night, and you will feel it. You will know it as a fan in your heart when it happens, that it will hit you, and it will dawn on you. Nah, we're going to do this. That we're going to be the champions. A lot of people were trying to call that weekend, I think the Sunderland weekend or some one of those other weekends earlier where people said, oh, that wasn't, he said that. Oh, today's the night. Blah, blah, blah. No, tonight was the night for me. Like I sat there, I saw Pep Guardiola's face. I saw how Man City reacted. What they've said after the game. The reaction overall on social media, it's like it's been shut down. Go scroll through your X tonight. Go scroll through your X tonight. There's no bitter counterpoint to what happened tonight. Nothing. Because everybody knows. Everybody knows.
Ooh. So I follow this one guy named Mr. Page on X. And a lot of the times he's a City fan, right? And a lot of the times he's tweeting stuff about Arsenal. And I've taken to putting in his comments, I'll say, oh, rent free, hey? Rent free, eh? I keep saying that. I can't actually say what he said here, but this is pretty colorful. F off, honestly, F off. F every single one of you. F you, Man City, horrible performance. But are you saying there's not rival fans from Arsenal talking about the Arsenal result? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. There's this one guy, Mr. Page. He's a big Man City account, right?
Yeah, that's who I was just reading out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, you see all the ones he was saying this morning about like, oh, if Manchester win and Arsenal draw, we'll be 3 points behind with a game in hand in a moment that will define a season. You're right, it did define a season, but that's why you need to fucking be careful. This is why I'm not sitting there. I'm not predicting Man City games anymore. I've actually given them wins in every single time now. Because, you know, I do feel that Chelsea game, which is going to come up before they play us, is massive.
Wait, they played Chelsea before us?
I think. Oh wait, let me confirm this. I'm going to go through. Matches. Match week 30. The next game for Man City, by the way, is away at West Ham. A match week 31. It is. Oh no. Okay. Wait. There's postponed. Oh, it's the postponed game, Man City against Crystal Palace, right?
Okay. Yeah.
That's why we don't play for so long, by the way. The Wolves fixture was rearranged, remember?
Right.
So we played that one. That's the week that's why it's like between the Everton and the, because that weekend will be the cup final, right? Right. The week that we play Bournemouth at home at the Emirates, they will play Chelsea at Stamford Bridge.
So they do play before us. Before they play, we go to the Etihad. That's massive. And Chelsea winning tonight means that United in third place have 51 and Liverpool in sixth have 48. So Chelsea are going to have to win. They're going to be going for it. They're going to have to go for it to stay in the fight, because the fight for top.
If Chelsea win that game,
3 spots. 4 teams.
If we can just manage to beat Everton and Bournemouth at home, and my thing is, I feel like I said to you, I think before, if we win all 5 of our home games, I think that'll be enough.
Sure.
Forget about the Etihad. Now, if we win at the Etihad,
one of those is Newcastle.
That would be one of those is Newcastle at home, but I think it's one of the last.
That's
ones.
Right after the Etihad, actually.
Yeah, it's after the
game.
Etihad.
It's the next game. So it goes City, Newcastle, West Ham. I think we played Palace on the last day.
Yeah. But in terms of our home fixtures, right? Everton and Bournemouth, those are our next 2.
Okay.
Then Newcastle is the one after that. And then I believe we have Burnley at home. That's the last one. There's one before that. Fulham at home. Fulham and Burnley at home. Right? Win those 5 games for me. Because I look.
Fulham will be on. They'll be on the beach. Burnley will be relegated.
But I just feel like the fire. That's one thing that Arsenal need to be really, really using their favor right now. If it feels deflated tonight, let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
Every single time Arsenal win and get closer, it's going to be a lot more of a reality check and a lot more of a depression from all the people who have invested so much energy into hating on us the whole year.
I just saw a Manchester City account that said it's blue extra. It said, let's be honest, we haven't been good enough. We don't deserve to win the title. It's still there mathematically, but we don't like, so they're already having those kinds of conversations where it's like, man, it's still there, but it's a long shot, you know. And,
Man, Hamza didn't come onto the terrace today.
go figure that.
I requested him specifically. I said to Terry, I said to KJ, can we please make sure Hamza's on? And both of them said, we're going to do our best.
Yeah, it was too rainy in Manchester.
Not one Manchester City fan showed up today on the terrace. But wait,
too cold.
our fans show up every single week, win, lose, or draw on the football terrace.
Yeah.
We never hide.
That's true.
We might come in and we might be toxic and vile and attack our teams in our worst moments, but at least we're there to say it.
Yeah.
We don't absolutely hide off the map. Like, anyway, I don't think there was much really to go on those performances. It's so funny. I stopped my analysis at minute 9 because I just felt like the rest of the game there for Arsenal was defending, and I thought we were really good at it. There's not much to write about this story, and good for me. I actually was sat with my feet up on pretty comfortably for most of this game. Like me and my girlfriend, we sat there, we had our coffee, we had breakfast, we chatted about a few other things while this game was going on. Because I didn't feel it was good. It was actually good until the end when I'm seeing the opportunity in front of our eyes.
I had to check myself. Check myself. They were saying it on the production. I'm like, don't even click nothing. Don't go look at nothing. Stay locked in. Just focus on this. Because I'm thinking to myself, man, at this point, we just need to see this out. I'm not even worried. Because what I'm worried about right now is what's in front of me, what I'm seeing. You know, we need to get this over the line. But to be fair, and I want to credit Mikel Arteta because we were really up against it in the first half after the goal. But he made some, and I didn't catch it because I was too nervous. Normally I can catch tactical switches. You know, I didn't really catch what he did, but after minute 55, because the first 10 minutes of the second half, they were on it. But after minute 55, I think you're right. We kind of locked it down. After minute 55, there was one shot.
By the way, the changes today from Arteta, the one I would be critical of is, the one I'm going to say. He took Gyökeres off. But to be fair, I underestimated Havertz because Havertz, I think the Chelsea one where we lost control with him in there, I think was a bit of an exception. He could just come back from injury. But we have to remember that's what Havertz's job was, to be the 9 that presses and controls games. And that's his thing. So when he came in today for Havertz to do that, he locked up shop. Martinelli again, piss poor as a starter. Don't know why he even got the start today. I think it's got more. I think honestly, I think it's got more to do with Odegaard's absence. I think it's got more to do. The mail is here again. I think it's got more to do with Odegaard's absence and Arteta not wanting to force Havertz into the starting 11, which is why Martinelli and Trossard are starting games right now, because I think both of them are out of form. I think the minute you get a healthy Havertz or a healthy Odegaard and stick him in the 10, I think Eze will be your left winger because he's playing Eze a lot now. He's almost playing him through form.
For me, Eze was the best attacker today.
Take the 10 role away from him, give him more of a free run at just being a left winger. I think Eze is going to actually have a really good run of good games. I feel like that's.
I thought he was good today. As far as our attacking play, I thought Eze was the best of all of them. Nobody was very good, and I love Victor Gyökeres to death. You know that, and I want him to start every game for the rest of the season. You know, obviously not Mansfield, but the big ones. But he was poor today, man.
Yeah, today.
I thought Havertz was better in his time on the field than Gyökeres was in his entire time. And to your point, I thought Havertz actually was way better than he was at versus Chelsea. And I've obviously 11 minutes or whatever versus Chelsea, and he didn't really have an effect. But I thought Havertz actually had more of an effect today. And I think he also had a hand in the slight improvements and tactical
Although
adjustments
he
that
had a
made us a
one-on-one.
little bit better.
The ball was put right through to him, bro. He needs to do it. By the way, on Gyökeres, he plays. I forget who it was. An amazing through ball.
Oh
today.
yeah, it was to Saka, and Saka didn't get there.
Yeah. We
had a couple of chances. We had a couple of little counters going the other way.
We definitely did. Right now, and by the way, there were times that Brighton gave us the ball, and I'm like, why can't we capitalize off the mistakes they've made? We
didn't do that enough. We didn't do that.
Our
enough.
opponents punish up at us every fucking time that we do those. Why can't we punish them for it? Like,
we didn't do that enough today. That's for sure.
Like, does Arsenal attackers need to have a fancy long build up to be able to effective score? Like
traditionally, yeah. If you ask Arsene Wenger,
they give the ball away and Zubimendi plays it back to Gabriel. I'm like,
yeah,
dude,
play it forward. Our first attack, before we scored, was one ball to Eze. He turns one ball forward to Saka. It was like 3 vertical passes, and we were from our box to their box, just like that. We did not do that enough. We did not do that anywhere near enough today. But like you said, it was a defensive performance, and we did defend well. There were some times I really don't like us conceding crosses. Gabriel was massive today, heading the ball away, and big up Piero and Capier, man. What a player.
He also got us up the pitch and relieved pressure. That time he just took the ball, he won the ball, he started to dribble down the left wing past almost the entire Brighton team. Now, he should have passed it at some point. He never released it, and they did eventually win the ball back. But just that sort of effort, like on his own, he cleared it, and he instead of just hoofing it down the field, I actually feel like that actually takes more time up. Him doing what he's leveled up. He's leveled up, but
it was good to see Calafiori back in there too.
That's there. Thank you, Jake. Very good, very good. Because that was exactly the next place I was going to go. I mentioned this also in my opening monologue. Go back to Wolves. The moment that we felt that things started to implode for Arsenal. And I think today was a redemption day for the Wolves game. Because number one, City dropping points to Forest, a team that's in the relegation fight at home, 2-2, mathematically, and in terms of the sentiment, is almost exactly the same, if not worse. But the 7-point gap that we could have gotten the night of Wolves with a game in hand, we now have. Yeah. So all
with
is
less
forgiven.
games to play.
With less games to play, right? But Calafiori, Gabriel, Raya, those are the big 3 names in that last sequence of the Wolves game. Tonight, the first time that Calafiori has been on the pitch since, and he's come in a similar role in reserve, right? Because of Mascara and him being on a yellow. Mm-hmm. Immaculate. Calm, composed, cleared some stuff off the line. He was positionally brilliant. Got us at the pitch at times as well. I saw him making a shift at right back from right center back. He's a left-sided player, because I saw times
he was a center back in Italy.
Yeah, well, he was a left center back. Generally, he plays left-hand side center back, and generally in a back 3. So, like when he plays for the Italian national team, he generally plays left center back in a back 3. Oh, thanks. Lunch is served for me. But yeah, I thought he was good in an uncomfortable position. I thought redemption wise amazing. Raya screws up again. He makes an amazing save, but he screws up again by passing it to Baliba. But Gabriel, by the way, he makes the same mistake of coming way out.
And then doesn't retreat.
But Gabriel, who was also a big part of that goal, and I blamed him a lot for getting underneath in the airspace of Raya, this time makes a clearance in an error that could have ruined our season. Had that been doubled the money and Baliba goes up earlier, different game today in terms of what the energy you're sending back to the Etihad.
We would have come out and attacked more.
No, but the energy you're sending to the Etihad, Brighton going to be able to feel like they've got something to protect, the nervousness, everything, not what you wanted. Yeah. I thought that was a big moment. There was a redemption arc today. Again, we've had this so many times that we've had different games out later on the season. Players who have had bad ones earlier have come and then redeemed themselves later, and in similar results. And match weeks that have been bad for us, we've made up in future ones throughout the whole year. So I think it's been good. And like I think overall, to recap, I do want to get into some of these comments so we can do the player ratings and get out of here, because half an hour is the max I can probably be here before I literally need to take off.
Yes, sir.
The last thing I want to say, and I actually want to ask people, guys, in here. The question is here below me. Jay, can you read it out? Brighton 0, Arsenal 1.
Seismic shift.
No.
Are you with me now?
Are you with me now?
Are you with me now?
That's
Yes.
what I want to know, because I have been saying the whole year, even through the dark times, even when I got people being like, oh my God, why are you not looking at City? Why are you so confident? Why are you this? Why are you that? Why are you blah, 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 blah. Why do you keep thinking we're going to win the league? We're not. We don't have the mentality to do it. We can't get it to the line, blah, 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 PTSD. There's no time for PTSD now. If the rest of the world is now believing in you, because they won't say it, but their silence tells you enough for you to know.
Yeah, Paul Scholes is afraid of it, man.
The rest of the world believes us now.
They're scared.
Why don't we believe us? That's what's missing. For the anxiety to really leave this thing and for us to really enjoy now the 5th of March, the last 2 months of this season. I think it's it's 4th of March still for you. For the UK and for me, it's now the 5th of March.
Yep.
Let's really be a little bit more composed, arrogant, believe, because Arsenal has yet to really, we've avoided, this is the latest that we've avoided it, by the way. I mean, maybe we can go back to the 22-23 season, but even then at that point of the year, let's not forget, we're 8 games to go in the rest of the season, right? We're not far off that time of the year where we had, your Southampton, your Liverpool, your West Ham period of the season.
Missed penalty.
I don't see it coming now. The fixtures don't work the way it was. The fixtures were all in a mosh pit that year because we just played the World Cup.
Yeah.
Right? We had injuries. We had the Europa League squeezed in there. Eventually, we burned out.
Mm-hmm. Rob Holding.
On a juxtaposition to that, the fixtures now give us a bit of a breathing room now.
Mm-hmm.
In the Premier League, we do not have any games that are.
We have one game in the rest of the month in the Premier League.
2 games in 5 weeks.
Yeah, the game versus Everton is the only other game in March in the Premier League.
2 games in 5 weeks. We got to believe it. We need to stop. Respect Manchester City. They are still there. This is not over. I'm telling you, by a feeling standpoint, I feel like, I actually think we're just going to get out of the line. That's not me saying it's over. We're 100% winning it. It's just, I feel more like there are less arguments against us doing it now. I feel like there's an acceptance for it now. That's all I'm saying, right? But we don't need to fucking act like this Manchester City team is better than us, or more deserving than us, or less likely to make mistakes, because this stat is one that is important. I'll put it back up on the screen again. Wait, let me see if I can. Here we go. I'll remove for a second, even though I got Cal in the background, his stuff. Now edit that to 45 games played, 3 defeats. And those 3 defeats, Szoboszlai free kick, that bizarre final sequence against Villa.
2 worldies from Man U.
Mm-hmm. We act like we've been so shit. We like to circle our most recent run, like, oh, there were 2 wins in 7, whatever it was, right? But I keep saying, why aren't you going and looking at the whole picture? Why are we always keep looking at this small part of the piece, that small part of the piece? This in December, like we were doing that. Look at all the games away from home. We're dropping points. 3 defeats in 45 games.
Yeah, that's
What's that? What's the defeat
incredible.
percentage on that? What's 3 divided by 45? That is
1.5.
6. That's 6.7%
Yeah, that makes sense.
of games this season that we have lost. That makes a winning percentage of 93.3 in all comps.
Well, we've drawn some.
Fine. That's why I went with the loss thing first, because it's like it's hard to calculate when you put losses what you do with your win percentage. I guess does losses.
How many draws is it?
Well, do you count, if we're doing all comps, do we count the Crystal Palace game that we won on penalties as a draw?
No, that's not a draw.
Then it would be 7 draws.
7 draws, that's 17%. So it's 77% wins.
Yeah.
That's still pretty fucking
Are
awesome.
you with me now? Is my question. And
Hey, you converted like 3 weeks ago, bro.
I know it sounds like, I know, because every single time everybody was freaking out, and I had my bad moment after the Man United game. I'm not going to lie. It was good to kind of get that out. I think it was cathartic a little bit for me. Just kind of get that out. If I had any inks or any nervousness, the Fulham game, I was upset. We sat here, we ripped into the team. But that was a very big changing night. We thought would be for the bad, but I think that was the night that I actually wouldn't take it back now. I would not take it back, because what we've seen since then, forget about the performances. What people need to realize, and this will be my last point before we start to get to the business side and read all your comments, because everyone is in here, and it's man, I'm so humbled by the comments. The amount of people that have been in here, by the way, I've seen the viewing numbers. It's been amazing. Nice. And so, you guys have been tremendous. Especially came on here by myself. I didn't even know Jake was coming on. I was committed to actually just doing this by myself. I didn't
know I was going to have time either.
Colin Coward style. I was going to go at it Colin Coward style. Just talk to myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks everybody for being here. But my last thing that I was going to say, what was the last thing I was going to say? Then I just literally took it out of my own brain here. Oh, damn it. I had literally had a mic dropping thing to say, and then it literally came out of my brain.
It has to. You were still on the "Are You With Me Now" track.
I was on the "Are You With Me Now" track, right?
Yeah. And we were talking about Man City are not, they're not intimidating anymore, and we should believe because of that.
Right.
Like you've been saying for a month.
Yeah, I mean. But there was another thing. It was like
we had just talked about the Man U game, and you wouldn't take the Man U game back.
We're talking about the winning. We're talking about the winning percentage. That was the last thing. I forgot where I was going to be going with it.
You can kind of see the loading wheel on Anton's face.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God, it's driving me nuts. When you talk so much, you can talk yourself out of a thought.
You just completely forget it. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get back to it later.
Read a couple comments and maybe it'll come to you.
It'll come to me. All right, let's get to the comments. And I'm not going to sit here and have a 5-minute segment or response to every single comment. So bear with me here, because I am trying to get this thing over the line. All right, here we go. I remember the last time we were talking about Domeng in the middle. Oh yeah, you wanted to get the 6'4" wonder kid from Leipzig. We were talking about Odegaard, by the way. How he thinks that he feels like that Odegaard, if he comes back, can be a crucial role. I'm starting to think that maybe Odegaard might not be coming back. Like there's something going on. I'm starting to feel that way a little bit, but I hope I'm wrong. Asana Drago, Arthur, Tata from Proven, Amadou Onana, and James Garner. You know what, Rookie?
I like Onana.
You're gonna be You're going to be excellent when we get into the transfer window. But I got to be honest, like right now in my brain, I'm thinking about the 20 potential games we have left in this season. If we're going to go all four fronts, like for me, I'm about the boys that are in the Arsenal team right now. You know what I mean? And we kind of got to do what we kind of got to do. I want power in that midfield of the pitch, but then I'm sure we saw our left wing was dead again. And in my opinion, that position needs a true maverick, especially with the dynamics on the left. Yeah, I know. I'm seeing Anthony Gordon links, and I'm like, dude,
please God no, please God no.
By the way, I saw Andy Kyler says Anthony Gordon and Martinelli swap deal. I'm like, I've been saying it to my Newcastle fans as a troll, but I'm like, guys, if Martinelli goes to Newcastle, he will have better numbers next year than Anthony Gordon would in an Arsenal shirt.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Anthony Gordon would get a couple of games and then Arteta would realize, well, what have we done?
Yeah, correct. I think we are not rotating enough. Zubi looks tired. Deck looks tired. We supposedly have the best squad around.
Yes, but we lost Marino went down, and Nwaneri is assisting Aubameyang now. So
yeah, and also Nwaneri, Odegaard. We just mentioned Odegaard.
Oh yeah,
Havertz just comes back in the fold, but when he came in today was as a striker. Yeah, look, we all knew. We all sat here. That's how we were linked to Tonali on the last day of the window. I think it was mostly a bit of a joke, but there's a reason why we did say we needed to, address that when Marino got down. We never did. We are short. We all always kind of knew that we were short. But I think now it's a good chance for us to be able to rotate against Mansfield. I think it'd be a lot more. I think it got to the point now of the season where everything can be a lot more managed, and I think that's why I thought this Brighton game was so important by any way possible. Didn't care how it looked to get over the line. And the fact that City dropped points in it as well makes it even better for me. Spot on Hamashayak. I guessed by his profile picture that he was a chef.
Makes sense.
Arteta has roles that can be rotated and those who can't due to highly structured, detailed tactics he plays. Specific profiles won't get a rest. Yeah, agreed.
I think there's something to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think there's something to that. But I think that for all the people who are calling for Norgard to start are never going to get it unless there's, God forbid, an injury, because I think his role in the team is a closer. And that what I think.
And he changes the shape of our midfield because he has to be a lone pivot.
Yeah, right. Correct. Yeah, we have been imperious. Funny thing is those 3 defeats could have been nearly won.
A 96th minute winner, an 84th minute free kick, and an 85th minute dagger. To lose those games. Yeah.
Big up to Jake. You're in yourself for saying make sure you're liking and subscribing.
That's when I first came in, yeah.
Each and every time, yeah. City spent all that to finish second. Let's see the criticism they will get. Well, I'll be honest with you.
Will they get it?
They're not going to get it because the people that would generally give it to them are the rivals, but the rivals are all super hyper focused on us failing. And so right now they're more feeling like City fans when City drop points than they are like rivals right now in this point in time. That's why it's not happening. That's just the sheer truth of the matter. And whether the national media would like to admit it or not, they're kind of in that boat too. And that's why they got nothing to say tonight. Now, maybe I might be wrong. I might go back and see, there be some comments about how Arsenal's ruining football, and I'm sure that's going to continue. After the shocks of this is over, and all the crying will begin. It will begin with silence.
With Cundy and O'Hara.
It probably would have happened already. They like to come on right away sometimes to some of these games.
We'll go watch the highlights.
The silence will go away and the crying will begin, and that's when I know that I'm right. I knew we would be champions after the second Villa game when I saw how we bounced back after that first match that quick. I was convinced. Me too, Rookie.
There's also something to be said for, we lost the Villa game and we went on like a crazy run and we lost the Man U and now we're on like a run.
I don't know why I didn't do it tonight. Maybe I was coming on to try to be a humble winner. But you're right, because after that Villa game, the shades came on. Tonight the shades should have come on. I just didn't think about it. But that wasn't the tone I wanted to set tonight, because I just kind of felt like I had a defeated audience, and they're already all, by the way, the minute I'm ready to talk, all the panelists disappeared because they know that that I'm just going to shit on all of them. They all backed away one by one. You know what? I'm actually done. I've got other things to do. One by one. Yeah, sure. Any of you guys watch Arteta's pre-match conference?
I didn't get to catch this.
I actually didn't get to chance it.
I normally do. I
played the post-match one. And his reaction to City dropping points was so professional. Like it wasn't a big deal.
Did he not even? Did he's like, I didn't even know.
Yeah, I love it, but he's giddy inside. But he needs to keep his feet on the ground, though. Like if anybody,
him of all people,
if anybody can say, hey, you need to remain calm, don't get ahead of yourself, it's him.
Yeah.
Not the fans. The fans can do whatever the fuck we want. City have a far harder fixture list, 100%. And by the way, in all comps.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The Premier League is amazing. Like every team is so good, it brings the rest out of those who thrive. I'm convinced we will win the Prem. Yeah. Well, I've been convinced the whole year, but tonight, after what we've been through, there was some doubt, and that doubt for me is gone forever. Unless something ridiculously awful, like true implosion happened. Like if we lost
crazy injuries.
If we lost to Everton and Bournemouth back to back or some shit, and Declan Rice goes out for the season, then please don't let that happen. But something like that. That's what we need to.
Anything can happen, and anything can happen. But we're not hoping.
It's a two-edged sword. It's not just about Arsenal. It's also about the City side of it, where they had this second wind. When you had a first wind, that was in December, we knocked them out. Then you can feel today the second wind getting knocked out of them. I wouldn't be surprised if, as a result of dropping points today, just like with Sunderland, they're going to have a bad run of points again. West Ham away.
It doesn't get
West Ham
easier.
Away. West Ham is fighting for relegation.
But look, before West Ham, it's Newcastle at St. James. It's Newcastle at St. James this weekend in the FA Cup.
And then they go to the Bernabeu.
It's the Bernabeu. And then it's West Ham. It's not a good run for them, man.
And then it's us in the cup. Then if they make it through Real Madrid, it's Bayern Munich home and away.
And then right after that away, after they play in Germany, they play us immediately after. We go to the Etihad 4 days after that second leg of the quarterfinals of the Champions League.
Mm-hmm. Also win the UCL.
Come on.
Tonight for me is about the Premier League. That Mansfield game, whether we need to rotate or not, if we get through that into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, like I still care about winning that. First of all, I can't fucking lose to them. That would be so embarrassing off the back of this. But that tends to happen to the teams. I guess Plymouth knocked Liverpool out of the FA Cup last year, didn't they?
It's more. It'd be way easier to be like, okay, we get to the quarterfinal and then we rotate again because we're playing in the Champions League or whatever, and it's Sunderland or something, and we lose to Sunderland. That okay, but not Mansfield. We got to beat Mansfield.
Yeah, right. I agree. Best attack, but we are right behind them. We are not just right behind them. We have the same amount as them. In fact, before this game, we had more, but they scored 2, scored 1. We're both on 59 goals. So we have the best attack, level best attack. We're still
5+ goal difference.
Yeah, and 10+ in common games, as I mentioned already. Mm-hmm. People talking about how if we win, it'll be the worst Premier League ever, and Scholes out here saying we don't deserve the title and attempt to rewrite history. Correct.
He's just a hater.
And it's just sulk. And for me, let's not get caught up on that. It is what it is. Take it as a badge of honor. They're just freaking out, they got nothing else to
and
lean on.
To be honest with you, Anson, once we do win people will move on. Like this hatred, most of the, it's like piling on, right? But once we like win it and get it over the line, and you can't give us the when do you win trophies anymore, I think there'll be a move on. People will move on, and there'll be a new whipping boy, and somebody will, and it won't be as much of the just blatant Arsenal hatred. They'll move on.
Do you know who the whipping boy is going to be? This is why they're all
Chelsea. I hope.
That's why they're all fucking desperate for us to bottle it, because they've been awful. Liverpool, by the way, should be the whipping boy from this season. No one even pays attention to that. I mean, this loss to Wolves. That's another. I think they've got like double-digit losses on the season now, or some crazy shit like that. Liverpool.
Yeah, they have 10 losses now. Yeah, or nine or 10 losses. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone forgets those Chelsea Premier League titles. Yeah, under Mourinho. Yeah, 100%. But also here, I actually love, go back to this. I love this narrative just from a juju perspective, from a football gods. I hate using the term, but I can't think of another one perspective. The more people say this will be the worst defending champion ever, the more likely I believe the quad could happen, because it's like the universe likes to make idiots look even stupider.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? And then if you're going to, so how could you in one breath say this is the worst Premier League champion ever, but they'd be the only team in the history of mankind to win a quadruple? Right? That's why that's for me is, I mean, I don't think
the worst Premier League champion ever actually becomes the best English team in history, just by default. That'd be crazy. That would be nuts.
See, that's why people need to just shut the fuck up.
Just chill,
keep talking.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
Just chill out with that.
Yeah, honestly, keep talking. Like, I'm not saying we're going to win the quad. I'm in the back of my mind hoping that's obviously the goal.
Probably not.
Well, we probably won't. We're probably going to have some more frustrating nights, hopefully in other competitions, not the Premier League. And if it were to be, it would be, as you said, like you draw Sunderland away in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup or something like that. You know what I mean? And we can't rotate, and then we get stuck in there. But, if we do make it, then, I just feel like it was willed into existence by all the idiots who say salty shit, and it's going to come back to bite you. That's why, by the way, I haven't predicted Man City defeats in recent games. I didn't. It's so funny. There's that Liverpool fan, the Irish guy, the redhead guy, looks like McAllister, who were laughing at Arsenal drawing with Wolves.
I saw that.
That's why I don't laugh at my opponent's results. I only laugh at my title rival ones, and it's more of a yes, come on. It's not a laugh. It's more like, yes, this works in our favor.
It's more of a celebrating for me, yeah.
I will come back to all those people, and I will laugh then once I've got what I want out of the season. Then I will do it, but not now. Not when, there's too much funny things that could happen. Since this Mimosas is all Rookie, because Rookie's a fucking legend. Since when did it become more than winning the title? Fuckers try to move the goalposts, and as usual, Arteta outers encourage them as well. Brainless. One agreed. We will win the league.
Yeah, the Arteta outers are egg on your face right now, bro. They're not happy.
We will win the league because we're the most consistent team in the league. Is as simple as that. I will go as far to say that we are the most consistent team in the league for 3 years. 4, I would say. No, yeah, 4. I would say 4. Yeah. Okay. Back to when Saliba came back from loan. I think from that moment we have been the most consistent team. I mean, without any trophies, unfortunately, but that's just why I feel like it would be fair if all of a sudden when we do win trophies, we just throw it all up at once. You know what I mean? Yeah. By the way, speaking of Saliba, the fact that he was missing from today's game and we still are able to hold on to a 1-0 game and to have for what has happened to occur tonight is also just massive, 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 massive. Love it or hate it, facts matter over opinions. They all can't prove anything but claim they know everything. Clowns without a gesture, faces, its anti-Arsenal agenda is deeply rooted in stupidity. He goes, I have seen in Pornhub. Oh, I was saying that watching Odegaard like highlights is like watching football porn. So he's saying he saw Odegaard highlights in Pornhub.
There you go. That's awesome.
Big up the panel, smash the likes, people. Thank you, SJ. SJ was just on the Gooners Therapy post-game show. I was on with him earlier this week, so big ups to SJ.
Big up.
Every time. Love the guy. Dan likes to call him the voice of reason. Even though sometimes the voice of reason, SJ, you can admit, has a little bit of panic in it, but all is good. It's you're a human, man. Like you're not alone. That Mansfield game better for Dalman. Yes, 100%.
I'd love to see that.
Where has Miles been though? You can't trust Miles in these games right now down the stretch.
The thing is, man, Hincapié has locked down the spot, and Calafiore is also in front of him. And
I think he's talking about it in midfield.
Oh, okay.
But I just don't think you can make those experiments right now in the Prem. Right now, where we are, it's about getting over the line. You got to go with 100%. You know, you've seen it. It's been done. Yeah. Everybody in where they're all playing.
Yeah.
You can't be going with, oh, let's experiment. Do it against Mansfield, but maybe you put Calafiore on the left. You put Miles midfield like he was going to do against in the FA Cup.
That's a shout.
Like he was going to do against Wigan.
That's a shout.
We'll see. Yeah. Brighton haven't lost to City this season unless I'm tripping. Nope. They got 4 points. Yep. It's over. Wait, we got 6 points against Brighton this season. It's over though, and has been for a while. I agree. I think that this. I think we've let them back in. I think we've always been on it. I think we've played with our food. That's actually the real truth. Everybody likes to make it about Man City. I just feel like we've played with our food. Sometimes you get bored at the top. We're trying to make it interesting a little bit. We can fall asleep at the wheel. We can become complacent, and that's what's kind of led into some of the extra, jeopardy in where we are right now. That's why I kind of feel on it, because we had multiple times to really blow this thing open, and we just didn't each time. It was good. He finally used Norgard to close out a game. Well, he did it against Chelsea. He's done it now, and I think now was even a better example than the Chelsea one. Unai smoked at home, lost to 10 men. LFC lose to Wolves. Spurs 1 point from relegation, and City bottle a lead twice at home. Arsenal won, playing ugly. We know who will be judged. Yeah, I know, right? All that other stuff.
Pop up the next one. Pop up the next one.
Pop up the next one. The famous lyrical philosopher French Montana once said, "If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping."
Well said. Well said. Damn right.
We will at least do a double, says Rookie. I agree.
Yeah, I agree. For sure.
I agree. And I'll, by the way, in 17 days from now, if we win that cup, I would almost lock a double in if that would be the case. Like all it takes, I believe, for me, is to win in 17 days.
God, that's
for us to have done a double.
That's sick.
That's all it's going to take. It'll be a 2-for-1. You know what I mean?
I'm pumped. I'm so pumped.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I believe Brighton had only lost twice at home before today. The game was never going to be a walk in the... Never. I think I'm proud of most Arsenal fans. Universally, I think all of us acknowledge it would not be an easy game.
Right.
I've not heard one. I thought we played this week very, very well. Mm-hmm. Everyone was really humble about the game. We gave Brighton as much credit as possible. Obviously, Hurtzela on the other side took shots at us and how we like to waste time and how we like to cheat and all this type of shit and whining and bitching. Well, we've actually been giving his team respect all week. So that's, that shows you a bit of a juxtaposition. Big up the guy, says 13 times 365. Big up to you too. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. All right, let's try rapid fire player ratings. This is going to be a tough one. We don't have to go through all the details. I got 5 minutes. Can we do it under 5 minutes?
All right. Yeah.
All right. David Raya.
Almost cost us right from the beginning, but I think he did have a couple of good saves. I'm still going to go with a 7.
I have to go. I was going to go 8, and then I remembered that first shaky moment in the first 2 minutes. He almost costed us. Yeah, so I agree. I would say 7. Piero Hincapié.
Fantastic today, man. And he also slotted into the center because Calafiore actually finished on the left. So I'm giving Hincapié 8.5.
13 times says 9 for David Raya. But that being said, that's my score. That's my score for Piero Hincapié today. Man of the match for me. Um, I mean,
Yes.
I don't think,
Yes, man of the match.
I don't think there's much other contenders in there. I mean,
Gabrielle was big. Big Gab
Gabrielle
was
was big. Big Gabrielle was big. And we'll get into Gab. We're going to do them separate because there's no Saliba in here today.
Sure.
So what was
Yeah.
what was Gabrielle's score for you?
I'm gonna give him an 8 because I thought Nkapie was just a little bit better, and I gave him 8.5. So I'll give Gabrielle an 8. I thought he was great clearing the crosses.
Yeah, second that. And by the way, I can't speaking about that first early moment enough when he recovered and avoided calamity. 13 times
Yes,
says,
he was.
and Nkapie was amazing as usual.
Yes,
I
he
love
was.
that. You know what? I told everybody from the start, I said he'll be the best left back in the league. Now, Cucurella has been gone for a while, so so maybe I might be right at the very, very end. You'll never know. Although, people will all have pushback on me for that, for sure. Mascara. Now, comes in for Saliba. He gets a yellow card 7 minutes in. He comes off in the 64th minute for Kala. What would be your mark for him today?
I thought he was unlucky to get that yellow card, man, right at the beginning. That was really, really kind of a suspect card, And in spite of that, I thought he was still following his man into the midfield really well, kind of towing the line a little bit. Yeah. And I thought he did that well. And it's hard to say because I think that yellow card kind of hindered him a little bit, but I'll still give him a 7.5.
Yeah. Probably a 7 for me because I just thought he overall, the fact that he was put in the position that he was again, that was the one real big change to the team from the last time. Obviously, the other one was the left wing swap, but for him to come in for Saliba after what Saliba gave us the other day and to step into his shoes, again, I blame the yellow more on Chris Kavanagh than I do on Mascara. He got out of jail a few times. He didn't really deal well with being on a yellow, I felt, which is why I tried to hooked him. But I thought overall, though, you see that 0 on the Brighton scoreline? I can't give anybody less than 7 on our team. Timber. Let's talk Timber.
I thought Timber, there were a couple of times where I thought Timber could have gotten closer to his man. I didn't think the work he did on the underlap as far as offensively was very good, but I didn't think anybody was amazing going forward, But yeah, there's still a 0 on the score sheet, and I think he did well. I'm going to give him a 7.5 as well.
Yeah.
I don't think he did anything too crazy, too bad like that. I remember.
I reckon somewhere between a 7 and an 8. For me, I actually thought he was really good. In the attacking part, I actually felt he carried us up the pitch a lot of the times. We used him as an outlet. He played I think he gets the assist for Saka's goal, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he will get that assist. Yeah.
So actually might give him an 8, Timber, for me today. I think that little bit of a assist bonus for me.
There you go.
And another guy who I'm going to give an 8, and I want to know your score, is the substitute center back, because I do feel like he was actually, I felt more comfortable once he came on. He closed up shop, but that was with Calafiori today.
Calafiori was
playing
good.
out of position from where he's normally playing. For me, he's an 8. What about you?
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Obviously.
That sounds good. I thought, didn't have a whole lot of time to play, but he definitely came in, got right into the rhythm of it. Wasn't didn't look slow or anything like that. Yeah. 8 sounds good.
Yeah. Because for me, when I saw him getting ready to come on, I'm like getting memories of Wolves away. I'm like, please no, right? But it was the opposite of that. So credit to him. He was fantastic. All right. This is, I think, where we're going to have struggle for marks for the rest of the team. Declan Rice today.
Man, Declan, he was tired. He just looked super gassed, but still did so much running and a lot defensively. But, dude, on the free kicks, what the hell were we doing on the free kicks?
I think the free kicks just don't have the pop in them because the energies aren't in the legs.
But yes, 2 of the corner kicks hit the first man, and one of them was pretty good to the back post.
The free kick went over the top. Yeah.
The free kicks, the actual free kicks, a couple of times where we tried to change the angle, I was not happy with that. It wasn't great.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of poor passes from Declan. I didn't think he had a great game today. 6.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 7 because I thought he some of the individual efforts he made in the defensive side, especially in the first half today, I thought he was brave and he was excellent. He made it all the way to the end. He played 90 minutes. I never believed that he would after what happened with Chelsea and he was an injury doubt. I have to give him just for the effort. Again, my views of the game, I have to stay consistent. The focus and the concentration of 91 minutes is not something that I'm going to oversight. And I'm going to give Rice the base of a 7 at least today. Because he didn't do anything amazing on the ball today, but off the ball, he was a star, and he emptied the gas tank. Let's be honest.
That's for
The
sure.
next, I don't want to see him even in the team sheet against Mansfield. Get
not at
ready
all.
for Leverkusen. Get that star patch on the side of your jersey, and let's
Stands.
go.
You need to be in the stands, homie, in the box.
Yeah.
For sure.
His partner today, Martin Zubimendi, comes off at 80 minutes. Obviously for the closer, for Mariano Rivera, I'm gonna call now that's what I'm gonna call
nice. Yeah.
call Norgard. Christian Rivera. Or Mariano Norgard, whichever one.
Mariano Norgard.
What do you reckon Zubimendi today?
Yeah, Zuby had a performance where I thought he didn't really do, as Yuki says, a whole lot of the pace setting, the tempo setting. He was involved in build up a little bit, but I don't know, man. Like I said, I thought he also put in a tired performance. I'm going to say a 7.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to go to a 6. Again, passes are very sloppy. You could just tell he's mentally fatigued, and I think he's starting to feel the difference of La Liga versus the Prem in this time of the season. But he's hanging on in there again, and he has to be commended for it. But again, that's why I think this weekend is huge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when he gets to play in the Champions League, I think it's for us in terms of the way that Leverkusen is going to approach the game versus all these Premier League teams. I think it'll be a breath of fresh air. So that's why I think I'm going to let these guys off the hook. They did exactly what they need. Just empty the gas tank, get us 3 points, and let's move on. And it was for me, I think he's about a 6. And then speaking of Mariano Norgard, he played 10 minutes or 17 if you had the +7. Closed it out.
I thought he came in and closed it out. Absolutely. I thought he shored us up a little bit in the center of the park. I thought that we were more competitive when he came in compared to the 10 minutes before that, where Hincapié was, or not Hincapié, but Zubimendi was absolutely dead. I'll give him an 8. I think he came in and did well. Yeah,
I would probably say 8 as well. I actually felt like, again, just like Calafiore, I felt like great sub from Arteta. We were more secure. We were more controlling when he came on. I mean, I think it was more from the fact that Zubi was gassed.
Yeah,
his petrol tank had emptied, and that was it. That's all she wrote. Okay, let's move into the number 10 position to Eze. Given another start today from Mikel Arteta, what say you?
I thought he was good, man, especially right from the start. A couple of vertical passes that you really like to see, a couple of good turns. I also thought he was coming back to help in build up more than he normally does. And I thought, as far as the attackers go, I thought he was the best of the lot. So I'm going to give him 8.5.
Yeah, if I thought he should have had an assist. What's crazy for me, right, is we were criticizing Saka about taking, being a bit greedy, right? And this time, I felt like all he had to do was cut in to his left and then shoot from that Eze thing.
Yeah,
he would have scored.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this time Alcaraz was well marked. I was watching him, and Martinelli took him. He was well behind the play, and he was like huffing and puffing to try to get to the spot, and nobody was there when the pass came in. He should have taken a touch and blasted it, and Eze would have had an assist. I think overall, though, is a little bit of a disconnected game from Eze. You miss the Odegaard aspects to that 10 position, maybe even sometimes the Havertz aspects to that 10 position, but it's just not Eze's game. And then to be fair, I just felt like he couldn't be platformed well enough because the two midfielders behind him were out of
We
gas.
didn't win enough second balls. We didn't battle hard. We didn't win enough of the duels in the midfield.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to Gabriel Martinelli, on the left.
Really. Yeah, Martinelli wasn't great, man. I thought he works hard. He always does work hard. I thought he played, he got back in defense to help out. But like going forward, which is like your job, he was not great. 6.
Yeah, I would say 6. 6. I'm actually going to stick to the left. We'll go to the sub here before we move to the top. Leandro Trossard.
He wasn't great either, to be honest with you.
Give him an NA.
It's hard to even. I'll
just
say
6.
Came
off at the hour mark. He played what, 37 minutes.
You did exactly what Nelly did, so you'll get a 6, which was not much.
All right. To the right hand side, just to the motherfucking star boy.
I thought Saka was okay. You know, should have scored. I thought he definitely.
He did score.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, he should have scored. I think it's so interesting to me because like I'm kind of just separating the first 9 minutes of the game. It's like that's not even a part of the game, you know, because we were so different after we scored, you know, just from how we approached it mentally. But yeah, because of the goal, you got to, you know, he cut it. We didn't see that again. The cut in and shoot, we didn't see that again in the rest of the
We could
game.
have had 2 in the opening 9 minutes. I mentioned the one before that, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, I thought he was decent, and because
Oh,
of the goal,
Gyökeres, we mentioned Gyökeres put him through 1-on-1
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
He just couldn't get. Sometimes like he's
that was a little bit overhit,
just not getting to the
overhit.
Yeah. It was a tiny bit overhit.
I'm still gonna give him an 8.5 for the goal. Got the game winner.
You took it out of my mouth. Not just the game winner. I think this is the most important goal of our season to date. That could have been the back-breaking goal of the season. The title I have, what I wrote on the thumbnail, what I have underneath, seismic shift, all that stuff I put everywhere, only occurs because of this goal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the difference right now for me that puts us across the line. And I feel like Saka's put us in a tremendous position now in the league. So 8.5.
No more does he score in the run-in. Hey, this is the run-in. He's got a game-winning goal. Miss me with that.
Absolutely. All right, Victor at the top.
Oh, Vicky. $1 million. He wasn't great. 6.
Yeah. I actually agree with you. For one, see, I'm not just fucking Gyökeres FC.
I love him too, man. I'm
Yeah. But again, he didn't need to be. To be, you know. And again, the role that I actually really enjoy him playing, I keep mentioning it every time I get behind a camera, is the control he offers us in games, the hold-up play, the pressing, like all of it. It's, you know, for me, people laugh when I say that, but that's what Arteta sees in him.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's why he keeps starting. But I do kind of love that, like that part of the conversations are gone. Like he can actually have a game like this and not everybody's on his back. It's actually kind of good.
That's because he's been so improved in for the last 10 games. You know, he's 8 goals in, well, I guess it's 14 games now, but still, that's decent.
And last but not least, Kai Havertz.
Kai Havertz, I thought was good. Yeah, when he came on. Yeah, I'm gonna give Kai an 8. I thought he was much improved from the Chelsea performance. I thought he did the things that we accused him of not doing very well versus Chelsea. I thought he did those well versus Brighton. So
yeah. I'm probably gonna say a 7 because like he didn't score, or for me, like he actually was put through.
That one should have scored. Yeah, I'll give you that.
But in terms of all the other stuff, it was I think he was better than Gyökeres in that role today when he came on. See. So for me, I'm just gonna take him up to a 7. And for me, Arteta today, and I would give Arteta a perfect score.
Fantastic, well done. At halftime of my watch along, I said, Arteta, you're gonna have to earn your money in this 45, and he did.
Yeah, he definitely did. Anyway, guys, it has been a 2-hour show. Thank you everybody for being here. Honestly. A great turnout. A great turnout tonight. Honestly, amazing.
Yeah, big up the chat.
Big up the chat. A big up to you, Jake. Like, you didn't have to. You told me you weren't coming today, and I saw you pop up, and I'm like, damn.
Well, hey, you were still on, so I was like, hey, I'll hop in.
Yeah. Seb was meant to come, but he ended up just kind of being held up with some other stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, no. Amazing. Thank you guys today. Massive night for Arsenal. Celebrated it. Everybody. Don't fucking let anybody tell you or cut the legs off tonight. Everyone's going to come to the realization. They're coming along slowly, right? Huge night. Go out and celebrate it, guys. Premier League pressure is off for now. Lay back, relax. We'll have Everton in 10 days. And let's switch our focus. Let's think about, the cup. Let's get ourselves into a quarterfinal. Let's set the tone that first leg of going away to Germany. Now I'm a Leverkusen guy in terms of in the Bundesliga. It's actually my team.
Sure.
So it'll be. I've actually not really watched a Leverkusen
I don't have a
game,
team in
right?
Germany.
Yeah, I mean,
care.
I because I like the Bundes. Like, I don't have a team in
Sure.
Spain or a team or anything else, but I just kind of like to watch Bundesliga.
No, I am a Como fan. That's my Italy team.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, the Como. We've talked about that the last time you were here. Anyway,
Yeah,
guys,
you
thanks so
take it
much,
to misses.
everybody, for being here again. 2 hours plus. It was a great show. It was a great result. It was a great night. Great everything. Go and enjoy everything that everybody has to say. All the content, everything. If you have your missus at home, guys, go give her some attention. Tonight. Yeah, Jake knows what I'm talking about. I was being as subtle and as polite as I possibly could about that. What did Terry said tonight? He goes, guys, it's have a bit of a red panty night
A
tonight.
red panty night. Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, yeah. He can say that because he's British. Like when I
There you
say
go.
that, people are like, "What the fuck are you talking about, bro?" Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Come on, Arsenal. Anton's tears, by the way, will be tonight. I'm actually going to include the last two. The turnaround was so quick, but it'll be better. It'll be
There
better
you go.
because of what happened today. So I'm actually happy I waited just a little bit to be able to do it. Anyway, guys, I will see you guys then on the next video. We have a post game show. We'll see, because that's the cup. We'll see. We will be notified when there will be videos. Again, a bit of a transitional phase
Get
right
that
now.
notification bell on, people. That's
But
how
I
you
will
know.
pull some surprises out of the hat for you guys for sure. Until next time, guys. See you later. All right.